of bans were directed towards mid lane, and they really wanted to get him, fed and get him going. And I want to see if Morden will end up going the same route here. But we do see Thresh actually has the last ban out of oceloteWorld, which is kind of surprising to me because Steel is just so damn good.
Yeah, and they have first pick as well. I mean, I could definitely see Thresh being a first pick. I agree with all the bans that came out of Furious Gaming. I mean, they banned Elise, Cassidy, all top priorities.
And also, Morden, he was really well known for his Mundo and Elise jungle back when he played with Giants Gaming, or sorry, Ozone Giants.
Okay,
wow.
That was the fastest.
Back then.
That was like insta-lock. It was the fastest I've ever seen Champions pick. They go right for the Shyvana buy. Shyvana's just overall really safe top laner. She doesn't really have any counter picks, so really safe pick. And then of course Vi, once you level 6, it's just free kills all day. But I think Kale is a really good counter pick against Vi, because what happens is Vi is going to go into your team, just going to ult somebody, and then everybody's going to try to focus that target, and guess what? They get Kale ulted, and you're probably going to be Vi in the middle of 5 people dying. And then Renekton's also a pretty safe pick against Shyvana. That's a matchup early. If he goes more of a damage-oriented build, like a Hydra, he's going to go for more of that tank build for his team. He's probably going to have to since they have a Kale, unless they pick up a really tanky jungler right now.
And JWoww, he's also, he's been crowned as one of the best top laners in Europe, and Renekton, Kha'Zix, like these are all champions that can really play extremely well in the top lane. And I mean, it's like if you think of Young Buck, you think of Renekton in ULCS, and it's pretty much the same with him. But we do see, looks like Lulu and Caitlyn picked up here, and that kind of synergizes with the whole comp they're already going for.
Yeah, they got this really fast push Lulu Kate that they're going to bring in. I think they want to poke out the Annie. I really like Lulu against Annie, especially with Caitlyn, because you can poke her out, and she just basically gets 2 chunked before she can actually hard engage on you. And then even once you hit level 6, you have 2 shields. You have the ultimate with Lulu, which is going to give you a ton of health, and then you also have the shield on her E. So it's going to be really hard for that lane to combo the Lulu Kate. And then the early game, they're just going to push them in all day.
Oh, wow, we see Lee Sin actually being hovered over, but Jinx has been locked in for hate out here, so they're going to have a Jinx Annie lane up against this Lulu and Caitlyn. Another
combo you can do with the Lulu Vi that's really cool is you can just send Vi and do the ultimate, grab somebody, and then just Lulu knock them up. So they have pretty good engagement.
The Orion is still available, and that kind of worries me because if you use Vi, you pull them all together with the ball, you knock them all right back off the Lulu, that'd be such a strong combo.
Well, obviously MF is just better for that combo. Come on, you make it rain, you strut.
I was thinking of Make It Rain, and they need to make like a lottery misfortune where it actually rains money when you do Make It Rain.
Okay, that'd be pretty awesome.
Like that. But Lee Sin has been picked up as the jungler for oceloteWorld. We're going to see Morden on that.
I think it'll be an Orianna pick. I honestly feel like it's gonna. That's the only reason that they would ban that Gragas. Oh, Gragas is also a very good champion against Nidalee. And one of the things that's pretty good against Kale is poke in the late game. But I'm not sure how that really fits their team comp together. They have like this poke. They have a pretty solid front line, kind of weird engage. And I guess they can really use the Lulu for disengage. So I guess this is more of a siege comp that they have. I don't think they're going to be like forcing anything around Dragon or anything around Baron. They're just going to be looking to poke and siege turrets. But Kale kind of bullies Nidalee in lane 1 through 6, just because her harass is so strong and her pushing ability is so strong. And Nidalee has a lot of trouble last hitting under the turret, since she doesn't really have any spells to last hit with. Like, what are you going to spear a minion to get the creep? So I think the Kale is going to be pushing that Nidalee in all day. And I'm wondering if the Lee Sin will be able to pressure the lanes with a roaming Kale off of that.
Well, we're going to find out here as this game is going to get underway in just a second. But as we think about the early game, the late game, what kind of composition does oceloteWorld have compared to Furious Gaming? Because that camera angle is terrible, I'm just going to say off the bat. I don't know why it's actually angled like that. But, I mean, also, if you think about it, what kind of composition are they going for? Like, what are they looking for in this game?
People do different things with Kale. Sometimes they use her as a split pusher, and they do like the 4-1 split, because Kale late game, she's pretty hard to deal with. It's like, oh, I'm invincible, and I can 2-shot you. Like, what are you going to do about that? So they might use her as their split pusher, or they might just try to force team fights. I mean, they have a pretty decent team fight team. They have Annie for engage. They have this huge Renekton tank line, plus Lee Sin that's going to be able to either peel for Jinx or to maybe get some insect type initiates. So I think they have a very versatile comp, and I think they have better control over Dragon and Baron and things like that. And I think if this goes late game and they can make it through like that pokey siege kind of scenario that Furious could put out, then I definitely give it to oceloteWorld.
All right, we're getting underway with this game here in just a second. They have loaded into the lobby. And what about level 1? Do you think we're going to see anything happen there off the bat?
I mean, going after Lee Sin's jungle early on doesn't really do too much. He's a very versatile jungle, and even if you put him behind, he's still going to be fine. And same thing with Vi. Vi can start both red and blue buff, so I don't think you're going to see any type of evades. Maybe see like the line of scrimmage thing.
All right, well, we did see yesterday pretty much every single team minus one game. I think it was maybe
Isurus versus Pain.
Yeah.
They invaded on the Maokai. But
Yeah.
I mean, Maokai is just screaming like, please, please gank my blue. Come here, gank my blue.
Well, they did end up going for that one. But that was the only invade that we actually saw happen in day number 1 here in Section Metro Sao Paulo. And that is how damn loud the crowd is. I guarantee you can hear that through the mics.
Yeah, they seem pretty amped up this early in the morning, even though it's not that early.
But, you know, I want to touch on Morden on the Lee Sin because he typically played like Mundo or Elise back in the spring split. And we saw Aranea playing Lee Sin yesterday in their games, and Aranea just punished so much. He took his own jungle, then he just counter jungled pretty much the entire time until they wanted to start going for fights where he would just kind of flow into a natural order. But then again, who's against like a Nunu? So it's a little bit different there.
I mean, it's kind of hard to even counter jungle a Nunu, but I don't think that the Lee Sin will be able to pressure the Vi that much. It really depends on the Vi player. Lee Sin can put a lot of trouble on just about any jungler in the game, because a lot of times like that Vi will use her abilities on a camp, and Lee Sin shows up and he hits you with all of his abilities. You can't really fight back. And then on top of that, that Nidalee is going to be pressured in for the first 6 levels of the game, so she's not going to be able to come help. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Lee Sin doing some counter jungling.
Well, here we go. Minions about to spawn. It looks like we're going to have him start up towards his red buff, and Morden looking like he still wants to come for some sort of invade, but going to be starting out his blue, so we're going to have both junglers starting towards the top side of the map and heading down. And you talked about middle, and you talked about top a little bit. I want you to go a little bit more in depth on that really quickly, because you said that if JWoww builds kind of a Hydra, we could see more damage coming in.
Yeah, it looks like the Annie and the Jinx, though, are going down and checking to see if that blue. They wanted to harass the Vi at blue, so they're not going to really get that. But on the note about the Hydra, it's kind of a riskier build because you're a lot more, you can potentially be ganked a lot easier, but it gives you the chance to win the lane versus Shyvana, and not very many champions can say that. So I'm interested if he goes for the typical Sunfire build, where they're just going to both safely farm out the lane, or if he's going to go for the little bit riskier build and go with the Hydra, where he can potentially win that lane outright.
All right, and then bottom, you touched on it a little bit earlier on, talking about the Lulu Caitlyn being able to poke at Annie before he can even get in there to do any sort of harass. And you're kind of seeing that already come to light here as Dio just taking a lot of damage, and he's looking for that stun, but he's not really trading any damage. I mean, if anything, also is losing this right now.
Yeah, Annie's already at half health. I mean, she's going to chug her potion. She has Doran Shield to heal her up. So when you have your AD carry already at half health, hard level 2 engage that Annie's love to get. I think Lulu is one of the best counters to Annie in lane. It's not really a counter, but it's a very safe thing. It basically makes it where the Annie can't do anything at any point in the game. And of course, her auto attacks, because of her passive, does an insane amount of damage just through the poke. You basically glitter lance them, and you can get 3 auto attacks. And Annie can't really do much unless she blows her stun on that.
Right now, it just seems like oceloteWorld are just trying to shove the lane in a little bit here. I mean, they realize the lane's already pushing, and we really do see the junglers going for a little bit of counter jungling here. Morden going to be pushing in. He's actually going to be seeing them right there, right in front of his face. He's going to land the Q, but he's not going to go for the engage on that. But both junglers are still sticking around. They want to fight over this Wraith camp.
Yeah, I don't think the Vi should be trying to contest this Wraith camp. There's almost no point to this. She could go down and run to her white camp, or she go up to double golems. I don't think she'll be able to win this trade outright with the Lee Sin unless he messes up.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of damage already going for him right there. And he's forced to run away with the help of that ward. And then won't be able to take that Wraith, so wins that little bit of a trade right there. And Morden, he's not necessarily done just yet. He still wants to go in for something. But in the meantime, top lane, both top laners extremely low. JWoww has used his Ignite, but Accelerator hasn't.
Yeah, that was really strange that the Lee Sin kept fighting that out once the Vi's abilities were up. I thought he was going to wait until Vi went in and started doing the camp a little bit more, and then he could make her waste her abilities, and then he could get off the harass he wanted. And he also didn't really have a clear line of sight on his Q either.
Oh, and then he was coming in for a gank on a JWoww, but he kind of just expected over the bottom side of the map, though. We do see Caitlyn already low. And he's forced to just completely back away. Has the barrier still available right there. And I'm not sure what exactly happened, but I'm assuming that was almost an all-in.
Yeah, they tried to do an all-in on the Caitlyn. Remember, Annie's stun got shortened a little bit on the for the first 6 levels.
Oh, the Ignite, taking out JWoww, and you see that cast minion, one last hit. They get the first blood onto Accelerator top lane, and that is not a good start.
Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty big mistake out of the Renekton to lose that outright. He must have traded while the only way I could say Renekton could lose the matchup. If you want to do that matchup right, you just have to kind of poke her down and use the fact that you have a little bit of sustain on Renekton to wear her down. But I think he just tried to straight out fight her, and he got a little bit greedy.
Well, he's still ahead by 1 CS right now, but obviously he is down that first kill. He actually went for a Doran's Blade right there.
Yeah.
And a Giant's Belt for Accelerator.
Yeah, it looks like he just wants to try to scrap that lane out. Maybe Doran's Blade is an okay pickup, and that's kind of a sign that he might want to go for maybe the Sunfire build because he gets that Dorans just for a little bit extra AD. I don't think he's going to be able to go for the Hydra anymore, though. If he does, the Shyvana already has a little bit of an edge on him, and I think that she can punish him now.
Yeah, we're going to see them return towards the lane on the top side. So we had oceloteWorld, they're winning out bottom lane. They have 34 to 23 CS lead, which is honestly quite big at this stage in the game right now. And that's kind of a worrying sign for me for Fierce Gaming.
Oh yeah, it's mostly because of that all-in. Caitlyn had to go back and buy. She was chunked down to like 1 bar of health. So I don't think you're going to be standing around the lane with the Jinx that can hit you with any of her little quirk shot abilities, or Annie that could potentially engage on you. She still has flash up, so she could have flashed under and killed her. But luckily they ended up getting out of that fight earlier.
Yeah, do see both junglers still just committing to their own side, not really being too active in the lanes just yet. We saw Nim go for a gank top lane. We saw Morden try to go for a bit of counter jungling, but he was obviously pushed out of lane right away, or pushed out of the jungle right away. But it looks like he's heading down towards the bottom side, and with this warded Tribush, he might be able to make this gank happen.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to go through the river, though. He's probably going to get spotted by that ward, though, and they'll back off before he even gets in a position for it.
I was going to say, or will they? Because they were standing around for a little bit right there, but they do, in fact, back away. So he should know that he hasn't been spotted, but he's still committing towards there right now.
Yeah, I think they're just going to keep it safe. They know they're there. Now, you know what's really interesting for me? And the Nidalee have very similar CS right now. Usually what you want to do with Kayle is you just want to push that Nidalee in and make her miss CS under the turret, and I don't think that he played the matchup like that. Yeah,
it feels like he's been playing passive. Like, I've seen him shove out the lane a couple times, and he just backs off to his own turret. He doesn't want to get ganked, doesn't really have any wards down at the moment, or well, now he finally has the ability to put something down. But he has been given a nice ward over towards Wraith Camp by Morden, so he has that vision, but still playing a little bit safe. And that's kind of, I don't know, to me, that's also his style, where he needs the jungler to kind of help him out. But there it is, there's the flash, there's the stun coming on 1984. He's actually forced the flash, forced a barrier, and now Tomex, he's in trouble here, but he does have flash to escape, and that is also oceloteWorld kind of just stamping their mark on that bottom lane.
Yeah, so much damage going out on that Caitlyn. But luckily the Lulu's there, she has her shields, and she's able to save them. So I don't think that they're still going to even be able to die with the barrier down.
Well, if anything, JWoww has been able to force the ultimate out of Accelerator there, forcing him to just run away, and he's able to kind of make his mark on the lane. I mean, he's down to kill, but he's actually going to be ahead in CS right now. Yeah,
level 6 Renekton, once you hit that, it's just really hard to all-in trade him, especially if you have a creep wave piled up where you can lifesteal off of. So I think he probably got traded when the Shyvana's burnout was down, and the Renekton just took advantage of that.
We are going to see Nidalee hit level 6 though, so we'll finally have that builds. What do you see already going so far? We have that throw me out, but we already have some cape coming out of Accelerator. We have that Chalice and to the Athene's Holy Grail coming out of Nidalee right now, and the AD carry is being very calm with their builds right now, not really showing anything just yet.
Yeah, it's actually the Caitlyn level Doran's build. I guess she doesn't want to get instantly killed by the anti-Jinx combo. They can actually put out a ton of damage once they hit level 6. So I guess he's going to be playing on the little bit safer side. Same thing with Lulu. She's opting to rush the Sightstone rather than getting a Gulbert 10 item. So they just both want to stack health so they don't get instantly popped in that lane. And then the Nidalee, of course, Nidalee always goes for an Athene if she's against the magic damage dealer. And because you get the blue buff, you're approaching almost max CDR, which is going to allow you to lob Spirit all day without ever running out of mana. The Renekton in the top, I think probably because they ended up losing that first exchange, and they need a tank for their team. So you're just going to see pretty much just 2 Sunfire tanks just farming top now. I don't think that there's going to be any risk of either one dying unless the jungler gets involved.
And what's your thought on Morden? Because he's been quite calm throughout most of this game. He has approached level 6 finally, but he does have boots of ability as his first buy. And we saw Arne do the same thing earlier on. And now bottom lane, you're seeing Nim get so low. He actually went for a gank there. They do trade 1-for-1, but with Morden coming up to the side, Tomex, he's not going to be able to escape this one, but the trap does stop Hado. They don't really even know who to go for, but Tomex solo, he's going to go down from the kick. And that is a 2-for-1 trade in favor of oceloteWorld.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that it turned out like that. The Lee Sin came in a little bit late, but I guess Hadal and Diod, they kept their cool and just ended up trading them back. They instantly popped that buy when she came in to gank on them.
And they even used the ultimate out of her as well, so it's not like he's level 5 when he went in for the gank. It was a straight out attempt, and fantastic job by them to turn that around. And also, they have a huge CS lead down there in bottom lane, and now with that kill, we're seeing Haydow sitting on 1,800 gold to spend.
Yeah, you're going to have a late game Jinx, and that's not exactly something you want to go against, especially if you watch the ULCS. Reckles in that champion, he just single-handedly carries a game on that champion. She's so brutal late game.
Accelerate, he's still sticking around. We do have JWoww going in. The Ignites are traded here. Accelerate getting very low. He doesn't have a way to escape. He does have Flash. He does have Ignite.
I can't tell if the Shyvana was trying to bait him there, or he just was being lazy on his backing. I couldn't tell. It looked like it could have been either one.
I was actually wondering that as well. It just kind of seemed a little bit odd when JWoww is just running into you and you just sit there not caring. Maybe he's trying to juke them out thinking that Nim was there, but obviously as we could see, he was nowhere in that vicinity.
You know what I'm really surprised about is the Lee Sin. He's only ganked 2 times for the most part this entire game, and he opted for the Boots of Mobility rush. So if you rush Boots of Mobility, that means you're going to put a lot of early game pressure on the map. And outside of that one counter gank on bottom, I haven't seen too much of it.
And also one thing that Fierce is doing really well is the wards into their own jungle. I mean, they're spotting Morden every time he tries to cross the river minus the top side, and he's not able to get any counter jungling he's maybe looking for or hoping to get somewhat. He's heading down towards his side. Damn, he's so fast. He puts mobility.
Yeah, he's looking for another game. I'm sure he's going to be able to do anything off of that. Also, the lane is a little bit pushed in too. So I don't think they're going to be able to do anything.
Oh, we do see the anti-stun straight on Atomics right there. He is level 6. He will have his ultimate available. He doesn't have any way to escape, but Haydow actually going for the flash. I'm not sure if I really agree with that, but when you see Kayle with a nice 90 caliber net pops him over that trap. But you did see Morden just off the side of your screen going in for the tri-bush, trying to make that gank happen.
Yeah, he's just lurking in the brushes. I mean, I think if they got a little bit lower health, then yeah, they would have definitely tried to make a play under the turret for that. But they're a little bit too high on health, so I don't think he's going to risk going for that dive.
Oh, and Morden getting back to first team. Oh, unfortunately misses the Q, but he still does safeguard to that ward, trying to go for that pick on Anili. His ultimate is back available here, and we're already seeing the damage from those spears. He doesn't really have any AP, but he just chugged Ocelot down right there. And now Dio get knocked down about half health. Haydow getting slowed up here. We might even see Nim going for the engage. The ultimate coming out of Caitlyn does get blocked by Morden though, and Nim is just so close. He wants to make the engage happen. Look at Haydow's health.
And just pushing the entire team back by herself. It's ridiculous. She chunked Ocelot down to half health with one spear, then hits another one on Jinx, and they're gonna get free dragon off of this. Like, there's no way that they can contest this. They're all too chunked out. Lee Sin might be able to go for a steal, but it's the only way I could see them getting this.
And considering what just happened right before this little bit of engage, occurred, is that Tomex 1984, they got pressured, they got shoved out really far. Their health like that before the fight even happened in the middle, before that dragon was even taken, and damn, that Nidalee.
Yeah, they have Nidalee heal as well, though. I mean, even if you do get chunked out, you have a level 9 Nidalee. She probably has 2 points in heal. You can actually top people off pretty well with that. And on top of that, I just noticed that Ocelot didn't get any MR on his runes. He has no MR on his blues, so he only has 30 MR. So those spears are doing an insane amount of damage right now. I think if he had a little bit more MR, he could have maybe stayed in that fight longer.
In the meantime, we do see the first tier of the game does go down in towards that top side in favor of oceloteWorld, and Morden maybe jumping the guy just a little bit right there, trying to go for that red buff. He doesn't have anyone to back up. Look at the damage off of those spears. That is just ridiculous. And Morden's only sitting on 43 MR right now.
Yeah, Lee Sin looked a little ballsy there. He's like, yeah, I'll fight you for your red. And he's like, oh god, never mind. No more.
All it takes is just one spear, and I feel like we're just saying, ooh, quite a bit today, at least throughout this game. But that Nilly, it's doing a fantastic job. I mean, you were talking about earlier on maybe being shoved into the turret, but he's keeping up in CS. He's only down about 10 right now.
Yeah, he's only 10 behind, and most of that comes from actually the time he spent getting that dragon, and also going to contest his own red. I think if this goes in the mid game, they start sieging with that team comp they have, this could be really bad for oceloteWorld.
And as a jungler, I mean, you know all about how all the lanes work, you know, and what you need to protect. And one thing that I remember seeing SK do extremely well against Evil Geniuses back at Gamescom 2012 was control blue. And we haven't seen any of that happen just yet for oceloteWorld.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like any of that. I mean, earlier, the Lee Sin, when he went to go do that gank on bottom lane, he looked like he was checking for the blue, or maybe he won a reward for it. But it looks like his timing was just a little bit off.
And the thing is, they also knew that Nim started at red because we had Dio walk in there and check that blue buff too. So maybe a bit of miscommunication, maybe a little bit of nerves, maybe just waking up or something like that. But in the meantime, I mean, they have very similar items. If anything, JWoww has the advantage with that Doran's Blade, but he's not winning these trades.
Yeah, he still has his ultimate up though, so I don't think he's too scared. And I don't think he'll be able to be dove unless this Kayle comes out. And yeah, he's gonna get spotted on that ward though, so I don't think he's gonna be able to go over that. Shyvana knows what's up. She's gonna back off since she doesn't have a tower to fall back to.
I do like this though about Ocelot. He's starting to roam around a bit. He didn't really do too much of that back. I remember thinking about him in the LCS splits, but he wants to get kind of fed on Kale, it seems. I mean, he has good farm right now, only being 14 minutes in, but I think he realizes that if he gets a couple of items that he can really be a force to reckon with when already his bot lane is doing extremely well.
Yeah, that's just one of the advantages of Kale. She's able to almost instantly push the wave up. She does so much damage to the wave, and she can just get so many roam opportunities off of that. But of course, Nidalee is also a really good roaming champion. She can follow up. She has so much mobility, and she can just be there following that Kale, and she clears out the wave pretty easily as well if the Kale's not there pressuring her with her Cougar form. And that bot lane is behind so much CS right now. They're behind 40, but I guess he has a little bit of Dragon Gold to go with, so he's not too far behind. He's about 1,000 gold behind, but yeah, that bot lane is just getting murdered right now.
Right there to fade out Andy. Oh, Bucket gonna come out, but he's gonna dodge with the flash, turn around with Hilton himself. They're gonna try to chase this back down, but right now I don't really think that Fierce Gaming has the damage they need, because with Hayda with that Bloodthirst, he's gonna be able to sustain this, and Morden, he was even heading down from middle. But we can see both junglers are kind of grouping up towards this middle lane and trying to stop, or trying to at least counter each other. Yeah,
bottom lane, like, all their abilities are out, so I guess it's gonna go back to farming right now. The Caitlyn's, she doesn't have even her BF sword right now. The Jinx is sitting on a no way they can outright trade. The Caitlyn just needs to focus on farming right now.
And you're seeing JWoww still pressure out Accelerator so many times. He's actually running from him here, maybe waiting for a couple of cooldowns, but he's just trying to escape. Accelerator trying to chase him down here. They both have those Sunfire caves. JWoww does have the boots. It's just not going to be enough to keep him at least fast enough to get away. Accelerator going to use that burnout, going to try to chase him down here. He doesn't have Ignite, so he couldn't use it onto him, but we're seeing JWoww with that flash still available.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he didn't try to stun him under turret. He still had Ignite him. There's a potential chance that he could have popped that Shyvana. But Morton's going to end up coming up and trying to pick off the Shyvana because her burnout's gone.
He just walks straight up to her. He's like, you know, I'm not going to try Qing you. I'm going to auto-attack you first with that red buff, get the slow on top of you. Accelerator, he's not going to be able to skate this one. He's going to go down to Morden. And oceloteWorld picking up a nice little bit of a kill there. And they also got a turret right before this happened.
Yep, that's the really good roam that we're talking about with the Kale. You can just push the wave up so fast, and you make Nidalee was right there behind him, but she was just a little bit late because she had to clear out that wave mid.
That spear just took Morden down, I want to say, below half health from one hit.
I feel like they might want to build some magic in this game. I don't know. I just get this strange feeling like some magic for this could be in order.
And how do you kind of counter this poke comp that, Fierce Gaming has been able to build up? I mean, to me, they have a decent disengage with Lulu with that Glitter Lance.
Well, if you look, they got all their outer turrets down already. Top, mid, bottom, all gone. So really how you deal with a push comp like this is to force them into fighting for objectives. And the next objective is Dragon. It comes up in a minute. And you want to try to get a hard engage off on that.
Oh, the flash sword of Ocelot as well as the Q out of Haydo does get the stone in Nim, but they're not able to chase them down just yet. But you can see the damage of just one spear and also the damage. Oh, what? The Super Mega Death Guard, and it picks up the kill right there with the help of that Bloodthirster. And oceloteWorld are looking very, very good.
Yeah, he just got outright executed. And that's one of their primary forms of engage, so I'm not sure they're going to be able to go and do anything around Dragon now. He's down for 15 seconds. They're probably going to pressure up mid for a little bit and then just go down and collect the free Dragon.
Right now, also, he hasn't backed in quite a while. Look at the gold that he's sitting on, 2,800 gold. You see Haydout sitting on 2,200 as well. You see the Nashor's 2 picked up, the Sword Boots picked up. And I really want to see what is Haydout going to go for, but look at the damage. I mean, you can never forget, ever, about those Nidalee spears because he's been farming it quite well. He's only sitting on 750 gold, though, to spend.
Yeah, but I'm still pretty surprised that they chose to back at that time. The jungler was down. There's no way he could have came and contest. It would have been a 5v4, and what they should have done is they should have looked to engage on them when Furious Gaming tried to contest that Dragon. And they should have looked for that 5v4 fight. Instead, they all go back. They had the timer on the Dragon. They saw it die. And they're just not going to be in position for it. They're just going to give up another free global objective.
Oh, they get the steal! Morden, he gets the smite with the help of JWoww on the backside. They're chasing down that back line. Look at how little damage JWoww is taking, pushing away 3 members. Ocelot picks up the kill and Accelerator. Now Nim goes down. And JWoww is still chasing him down. Look who's just sitting there. 1884 goes down. Still 4 kills coming for oceloteWorld.
Okay, well maybe they were a little bit confident in the Lisa's smiting ability. I failed to factor that in, it's me. But
oh my god.
Yeah, they just ended up cleaning up their entire team off of that. And that's what I was talking about, where you just want to force those Dragon fights on a poke comp. You should never engage outright on a Dragon with a poke comp because you're just not going to win. they have too much upfront damage. They have Annie's Initiate, they have that Jinx ultimate you saw that almost instantly killed that Vi. And then Kale is just doing massive damage. She's so rich right now.
And what was so weird, Wow ran into 3 people on Fierce Gaming, but he wasn't hit. He wasn't pushed out. I mean, he just didn't care. The enemy team was like, all right, we're going to ignore you. We're going to try to finish killing this dragon and then hit your backline while our backline gets completely pushed out. And single-handedly, he shoved away 1984. He shoved away Tomex, and he shoved away Nidalee.
Yeah, and when you split that damage and you're focusing on Dragon rather than the team that's coming in to kill you, it puts you in a really bad spot. And you basically just have to run away from this team that has, like, you have the Jinx that's going to get excited off of 1 kill, and then she's going to clean your entire team up like you saw.
And also, how do you escape stuns and slows galore? I mean, it's so hard to run away from that team. Even though you have a Lulu, it's like, yeah, you get 1 Glitter Lance, but we have 3 people with slows on you.
Yeah, they don't quite have that much disengage. Really, their only disengage is that Lulu. So they have this poke comp, but they just don't have any way of not getting forced into fights if they're going to go for dragons like that.
Do you think that's based off of the top and jungle lanes that are the champions they chose? Or is that just kind of based around their whole strategy?
I think if you want to go for the poke comp, I definitely like Renekton a lot better with a Nidalee because Renekton has a form of CC. If somebody starts coming at your Nidalee, your team, you can stun them. And also, Renekton's pretty naturally tanky, just like Shyvana, but once again, it's the CC. You need that CC to lock people down to stop them from going into your backline. And then Vi is, if you're going to make a poke comp, like, why do you have Vi in there? She's a hard initiate. She's not really a counter engage. She's going to, like, go flying into the team. So they don't really have a good front line, a proper front line to defend that Caitlyn, that Nidalee.
And the thing also is, oh, we actually just engage on a Nim bottom and actually want to punch this out just a little bit. They turn it around. Hado getting very low, but can he survive this? He does have the stack shield. He does flash away, but Nidalee goes for the flash. They get the shutdown. And now Diode, he's been attacked. He's trying to turn this around this morning. He's coming in from the side to potentially save him. But while all this is happening, you are seeing Ocelot pushing that top lane. You're seeing JWoww pushing middle a little bit more. So they trade 2 kills, but also might come out ahead still with this turret.
Yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about before. They're going to use the kill in like a 4-1 split. Who's going to deal with Kale on that team once he finishes that Lich Bane? Nobody on the team will be able to walk up to him. Even the Shyvana is like, oh, well, maybe I'll like try to hold under the turret. Lost half his health instantly. So I think that Kale is going to be a huge problem for them.
All right, well, it looks like I have a little bit of a breather here. Well, maybe also it's going to prove me wrong here. It's actually closing on 3 people. But one thing that I was noticing throughout the entire game is, you know, Nim, he's at level 6 gank from Vi is just so hard to deal with the other team, and he really hasn't made anything happen. He ganked bottom once at level 5,
and
sorry, at level 6, and he died. Yeah, exactly, and he died. And then that was kind of like the second gank we've actually seen come out of him, and it was scrappy.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that he went for that bot lane gank as well. I mean, they have Lulu can sort of set up a gank. I mean, you have Glitter Lance and of course, the ultimate, where you can get a little bit of CC off on it. But I figured that they would try to pressure that Kale. Kale is pressured up into the turret at all times, so he's pretty extended. And I think if you get a Vi ultimate on a Kale and then Nidalee just follows it up and chases them down the lane, you could probably get a free kill.
Oh, Nim, he's not going to see him. He runs right to the choppers. This Q gets dischanneled and gets kicked back into his team. He's going to use him to get over that Baron wall. Is anyone going to go for the wall? Oh, no, this is going to make a death rock, and it doesn't actually land. But Morton, with those boots of mobility, he doesn't care. He gets the slow. He's going to get the kill. And this might open up Baron.
Yeah, it's a nice little escape from the Vi, but not nice enough. Now they don't have their smite, and of course they have 2 people in base, so I think it's going to be a free Baron for oceloteWorld.
Kava, he has that blue buff. He's spamming those spirits as much as possible, and you're seeing oceloteWorld try to respect it. They're trying to escape it. Morton does lock that down with a smite, and they do come out with that 1 kill and that Baron buff off the game being made.
Now this is the real problem when you have a poke comp and you get into this late game scenario where the other team has Baron, because they're just going to regen all the poke damage that gets done. Like the Nidalee comp is all built around getting that poke damage off and making to where they're too chunked out to engage on you, but they're not going to be able to do that when they have Baron buff. And they also have Kale heal on top of that.
Yeah, that's provided very hard for them to make something happen, but we do see them respond. They do get a turret off of that, but this is kind of what you expect. The other team gets Baron and does back away. But let's take a look at items real quick. Why don't you walk us through what you see, because right now, oceloteWorld, they've been able to complete a lot of major items that unfortunately Fierce Gaming just hasn't been able to do yet. Yeah,
it actually looks like that Renekton is starting to opt into that Hydra. He doesn't really want to finish the Spirit Visage. Remember, they nerfed it on this patch. It used to be 20% CDR, which was absolutely amazing on all tanks. Now it's only 10% CDR, so I guess he's going to be like, hey, I need the Spectre's Cowl to regen a little bit off the Hydra so I can melt your whole front line. And then we have the Lee Sin. He's just going for that tanky build. He wants to try to get any of those insect kind of engages, or peel for his Jinx in case the Vi even does go in on him. And then, of course, that's a pretty standard Kale build. You have the Lich Bane and the Nashor's too. pure damage, really good for split pushing, really good for just two-shotting people in any type of fight, whether it be team fight or 1v1.
Look at that poke right there, just onto Caitlyn, and you see how slow she's moving. She's just in such a tough time. She just gets sped up by Lulu, but it's really not enough. And right now, they're going for a 5-man push. They're not trying to split push at all here. Do you think they could dive into this turret? Because that Kayle ultimate, with how strong JWoww is, I would imagine that's a very likely possibility.
Yeah, they can absolutely engage. But the thing is do they even have to? If Ocelot attacks that turret one time with that Lich Bane, it's going to be so much help off of that. And of course, Jinx has a lot of range as well, so could probably get a lot of chip damage off of the turret. But if you look, Caitlyn's getting up these three traps, and Nidalee's also going to trap up around the front. So a dive might be a little bit dangerous unless it's executed properly.
And HeyDawg getting chunked down below half health from that spear right there. And if anything, I got to credit to Fierce Gaming. They're holding on. HeyDawg getting hit yet again right there. He does have that blood push though, so it's not like a major deal. So he's going to be able to heal this one back up. And they do intend to actually just rotate away from that top side.
I'm surprised it actually is going for that last Whisper after the static ship in the BT rather than getting the Negatron. If you look on Furious Gaming's team, they only really have one person that has a lot of armor. That's the Shyvana. I think you might want to have at least the Negatron just so you don't get chunked out of those siege situations by the Nidalee.
All right, well, oceloteWorld able to pick up their second dragon of the game. We have one for Fierce Gaming. And with that Baron buff, with HeyDawg with that Bloodthirster, back to full health. And right now, look at how out of position the Fierce Gaming is. We have 3 over towards that top side of the map, just kind of sitting there doing really nothing. He's coming around, trying to make a play happen, trying to get that engage.
Yeah, and oceloteWorld actually spotted him on that ward over by Raves. His entire team to go do Raves. It's like, all right, team, let's group up and get these Raves.
Dude, they're boss fights right there. They're pretty much like worse than Baron. But you were talking about looking at that turret goes down, how fast it really does drop. And you saw from a couple of hits right there with that air horn just keeping me on pace. It just drops so fast.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the next wave they'll be able to get that turret. If Ocelot attacks it one time, it's probably going to go down. So it's kind of a Furious game to hard.
Dude, HeyDawg is hungry. What is he doing? He's eating every single spear that comes at him.
Delicious. I just picture the Nunu bot thing where he consumes something, so it's delicious.
Exactly, but you see the damage that they can all do right now. That turret is not left for this world much longer as JWoww just going to go in and fully tank it up, going to back out as well. They're going to get the turret down. HeyDawg trying to push in with that excitement, trying to catch someone off guard, but it looks like they're going to get this inhibitor, and then Baron buff, it's about to run out, so this is perfect timing for him.
Yeah, it looks like they're all too chunked out to contest that. They don't want to look for this fight. Most of the people in oceloteWorld are still pretty high health, even though they got chunked by a little bit Nidalee Spear. But of course, remember you got that Kayle that can heal them up, even if they get chunked.
And speaking of that heal, I mean, Ocelot, he's sitting on 276 AP as well, so it's not a small heal at all here, but we're seeing the rest of Fierce Gaming, they're trying to push up, trying to spot them maybe backing away from their own side of the jungle. Speaking of that, 2,000 gold on Ocelot to spend. Actually want to see what he does pick up right next, but we do see the Talisman Ascension picked up. We do see the Last Whisper completed. The Spirit Visage has been done for JWoww. A lot of items. I mean, even Morden went for a little bit of damage with that Brutalizer.
Yeah, he's just, I mean, they feel like they're in control. I guess they really feel like they don't have to have that much of a tank fight at this point. The Renekton's enough. There's just no way that Furious Gaming can fight once oceloteWorld's team gets into the back line. Like, they have no way of contesting that. So I guess they just want to instantly kill them and chase them down and murder them. Like, they got the Brutalizer, that CDR, that's damage. I mean, and then he goes straight for the Void Staff on the Kayle as well. I'm surprised he didn't pick up an Hourglass. It's usually something you'd see out of a Kayle is an Hourglass or a Death Cabinet.
Oh, HeyDawg even flashes for it. He's trying to get the slow object accelerator with that red buff. He does get it one more time, but he has forced the ultimate out of him and the flash. But I don't know, in the end, is that a good trade considering HeyDawg was forced to use his flash as well?
Yeah, I really don't like trading the flash for that. I mean, it's pretty hypey. I like the play on that just because he's bloodthirsty, he wants that kill. But in a siege situation, you kind of want your flash.
Especially with those Nidalee Spears that he just seems to nom on every single time. But either way, he's still doing a fantastic job. 3-1-4 right now, 209 CS. Also actually leading the charge in the entire game at 231 and a 203 score. I gotta give him credit. He's playing very well today with his roaming that he's been doing earlier on, as well as the sieging that he's been dancing on a line of, you know, going too far in and not too far, and he's been hitting it perfectly.
And one smart thing that oceloteWorld did tactically is they took that bottom inhib, which is the furthest inhib away from Baron. So Baron's going to come out right around the same time that inhib's coming up, and they're going to have super minions hitting that inhib when it comes up, and they're going to have to make a choice. Do we give up bottom inhib or do we contest Baron?
And look at Dio. He's, oh my god, look at the damage on Tomax. Even the Super Mega Death Throw coming out, and he flashed over the wall with the stun. It does pick up the the kill, and now oceloteWorld are just charging straight into the kick. Fortune doesn't work the way they actually wanted to make it happen as the ultimate comes on the Caitlyn. J-Well's gonna block that one up. But the damage that also just did with that Lich Bait and that Q just shredded apart Tomex.
Yeah, that was one sneaky Annie. He's like, oh yes, I made it out. We're all good. Oh my god, no.
Oh, hey now, I bet you wish you had your flash now because he runs right into a trap. But with this team there, it looks like he will be able to get some backup here and survive. But then the flash comes in for Nidalee as Nidalee just gets dropped so low that the Ignite taken away. I'm not sure he's going to be able to escape this one. And no, he gets taken down. But on the backside now, Haydow's getting focused down by Vi and Shyvana as well as Caitlyn as he finally does drop here. But also, they're not done just as they pick up another kill, getting that one on Vi this time. So they trade a 2-for-1, but also they do get the turret. They do have the Superminions attacking the Nexus turrets, already dropping very low, and they have Baron put up in 10 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to make it away from that double buff kill alive. She's pretty bad.
The thing is, you saw how hard it chunked Lulu. She just dropped down to a 3rd life instantly, and it's like, all right, the rest of the team just attack her once or just sneeze on her, and she's going to go down. And right now, can Fierce Gaming even afford to kind of contest Baron anymore?
No, and like I said, they took that bottom inhib. They have to deal with those bottom waves that are pushing in those super minions. So they can just go right up the Baron if they want to do that. Like, look, Caitlyn, Nidalee stuck in base dealing with these waves, and they can just go straight for the Baron if they want to. But it looks like they want to control that blue buff before they do that. They know it came up. They got the timer on it before. They want to make sure Nidalee's not going to have that blue buff for when they go for the Baron, because maybe she could do a little bit of poke damage on them and chunk them out and put them in a bad situation.
Morden's sticking around, but you see Ocelot coming in from the side as well. It looks like Nidalee will be able to lock that one down. I think Morden smited the small minion there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he got the little lizard. He hates those little lizards.
They are jerks. And right now, I mean, we talked about Caitlyn, but just look at 1984's items. That is not what you want to see 30 minutes in on your AD carry. When you look at his opponent who has this action done, and the last booster, and another BF sword on top.
Yeah, and he still didn't build that Negatron either. He just, no fear at all. I guess he feels like he can just clean up the fight, and he just has Kale healing him up, so he's not really afraid of getting killed, and he's just lifestealing most of the damage off with his BT.
They always say the best defense is a good offense, and he's just going straight to offense right now, but that bottom inhibitor has respawned here. oceloteWorld making a push towards his top side. Baron is available to be taken too, and personally, I want to see them ward up the jungle a little bit more and then just go straight for that Baron, lure them out of that base.
Yeah, I think I gave oceloteWorld a little bit of too much credit. I was like, oh man, they're so smart. They took that bottom inhib, like they're gonna put him in a bad situation. It's like, no, we're just gonna run around the jungle and like wait for the inhib to come back up.
Well, they're going straight for it now. Baron dropping very fast on health, down to about 6,000 life. There is a ward in there though, and we could see Vi come in with that flash smite. He does have it available. Will he be able to pull it off? No, Morden locks it down, and we see oceloteWorld pick up the 2nd Baron of the game for themselves. And
oh,
damn.
He got chunked so hard, but they got the Kale heal. They'll be okay, and that Baron regen. They absolutely butchered that Baron, though, with speed. Of course, Kale is hitting like a truck right now.
And it's a shame because I feel like Nidalee's been playing this game so well. I mean, just the spears, I've maybe seen one miss this entire game, maybe two. And it did so much damage. He kept up in lane, but it's just right now he can't really deal with how fed bottom got and how damn tanky JWoww is.
Yeah, Nidalee's been playing excellent. It's just, I don't really think that they have the proper team comp to support that, though. I think even if they go for Nidalee again next game, if they get a little bit better team comp, I could see Furious Gaming putting up a lot better fight.
There we go. Also, well, they're not even afraid going straight for that inhibitor. We did see Haydow's get hit with that spear, but only dropped him down about 1/4 of his life, which was basically instantly healed up by Ocelot, not to mention that Bloodthirster. But with that inhibitor being down, looks like they're going to move towards this top side.
Yeah, I mean, they still have to push that wave out top. I mean, that's not going to take long for that Jinx, though. She's pretty fat. She does quite a bit of damage. And, of course, she has AoE with their Q.
Yeah, well, we do see Furious Gaming. They're trying to push out middle here. Actually, I think they have locked in onto JWoww, but that's a crocodile that's just not going to die. He's just so damn strong. He's going to be able to heal quite a bit. He actually has a giant spell on top of that pickaxe.
Yeah, I don't think that's the guy that you want to engage on. And I'm pretty surprised he didn't opt to finish that Hydra. He just literally like, yeah, I got the money for pickaxe. I guess I'll build that. Nidalee got chunked so hard.
Yeah, if he just, I mean, the thing is, it's a shame because if they didn't have Baron buff, and he has his move up, which they contested, they'd be able to chip a lot more and keep the damage in there. Although Super Mega Death Rocket does get blocked out by Nim, so that will be down, but that is also Lulu ultimate being gone, which is such a key component for Fierce Gaming. We do see engage on Shyvana in the backside. He does get stunned up right away, and he's all by himself. He gets taken down, but then we see Nim go in. He gets dropped away. The turret finally does fall. They're chasing down Haydo, flashing over the wall, gonna land the stone on Caitlyn. 1984 is not gonna escape this one. He's gonna get kicked back in his team. He's gonna drop here, and that is another kill coming for oceloteWorld. They are able to pick up the inhibitor as well off the back of that Morden. He's not done just yet. He's actually being chased down and chased away as Accelerator coming back into the fight with those home guard boots. Even with Fierce Gaming, go for that last minute engage. You saw how fast Accelerator dropped when he dove into the backside of his team, and he got stunned as well. He just couldn't move.
Yeah, that Siobhan is just not tanky compared to the, when it comes to that really fed Kale with the Void Staff and that really fed Jinx that has that last Whisper. And of course, if either really start to get focused and get low, they're just going to get Kale ulted anyways.
I think it's to me, it's like their damage is just kind of spiky, but it's not consistent. It's all about landing those spears over and over, and the blue buff is now gone, and this will be the last inhibitor of the game going down for Fierce Gaming.
Yeah, with 3 inhibs down, I really don't see them coming back from this. I'm pretty sure oceloteWorld is just going to go back, buy, spend that cash money, and then come back to the base and run it over.
Well, you're right about Misfortune. It was making it rain here because oceloteWorld is just so damn strong. I mean, 58.5 thousand gold to 43.9. A 14,000 gold lead here. I mean, is it impossible? If you're to look at this and you're in Fierce Gaming shoes, is it possible for them to come back? Is there a possible way for them to do this? Well,
I mean, there could be some storm here that could knock out the power, and that could maybe do that. I mean, that's about all I could see that could happen.
Froggen.
Yeah, where you at, Froggen? And it's Ocelot too. It's perfect.
Oh man! But right now, oceloteWorld, they're looking strong. They're looking like they came into this. You know, we're wondering about jet lag, if there's any of that possibility, or if they had time to practice. But they're looking
looked like they had a little rough start. Remember, the Renekton gave up the kill to start, and Lee Sin had a couple of weird exchanges, but looks like they woke up around mid-game and they just came together. They're awake and they're here to play.
It's like that rust has finally come off, you know, from the travel or whatnot. But right now, also, I mean, with those 3 waves, the Super Minions pushing in, they're still just far up the jungle. I'm honestly not sure why right now anymore. I feel like they could just finish it. I mean, maybe they're waiting for the lanes to just finally shove in before they go for this.
I mean, I guess, but when you have 3 inhibs down, it doesn't take very long for those waves to push in. I mean, you have 2 super minions coming in on each lane. So I'm surprised they aren't just 5-manning in.
Well, we do see JWoww push up really far right there, trying to shove them away. Do have the super minions pushing in from all different directions. In 1984, he finally has the last Whisper, but he doesn't have much attack speed complete. You see him getting chipped down right there just from Jinx a little bit. And all it takes is Sun, and they're grouped up. That turret just drops extremely fast with the help of Ocelot right there with the Void Stuff and that Lichman. You've seen JWoww dive into the backside on 1984. He's getting very low. He's going to get shoved down. He actually gets taken down before anything else. And there's the kill. So I think the first one we've seen this game on the Haydown keeps him alive. They get 4 kills. They're going to get the Nexus off of this, and they're going to take the first game in this best of 3.
Yeah, you know it's a bad day when that Crocodile's just 2-shotting your AD carry. That looked pretty
without any real damage items either.
Yeah, all he had was that pickaxe, and that's all he needed. Oh, he's got a Doran's Blade. My bad.
Yeah, he does have that. But I mean, if you think how that game went on, it's just in the beginning, oceloteWorld had control of bottom lane just from the get-go.
Yeah, to be honest, I really feel like the bottom lane won them the game. They just put so much pressure, and you even saw it. The Vi was forced to come down there. He ganked a lane that I really feel like he should have been focusing on mid more, and it put him in a bad situation, and he ended up dying for it. And I think that might even cost him the game, that one play, because A, they lost jungle pressure, and B, guess what? That lane that's already putting pressure and is getting fed and just pushing them out is even stronger now.
And I also like how Morden kind of had the realization to head down towards bottom. Like he was close to the vicinity. He was there to be able to back them up. They lost 1 man Haydown, but they were able to turn it around, pick up another kill off of that.
Yeah,
he had great
mobility.
Awareness.
Yeah, Boots mobility definitely paid off. And I really like that from early aggressive jugglers like Lee Sin, where you get those Boots of mobility and you're just everywhere on the map. He was, I think, at red buff when that game started. He's like, oh my god, I gotta get down there. And he just booked it and just got down there, got that counter gank, and just cleaned up.
He had his Nikes on. Definitely running very fast. And we can take a look at both teams. Now we have JWoww 3-1-6. The only death he did have was early on about level 3 that we pointed out. We do have more than 5-0-6. His pressure early on wasn't the strongest, but he definitely made it work when it counted. Also at 4-0-7. Didn't die once, had 277 CS, the most in the game as well. And he had a Death Cap, a Lich Bane, a Nashor's Tooth, a Void Staff, Sword Boots. Like,
yeah, if you let Kale free farm, you're gonna have a bad time. All right?
You are. And then we also had Haydown at 5-2-8. Even Dio did very well, 1-2-11. So not a lot of deaths across the board for the team, but a great job by oceloteWorld. We're gonna go to a quick little break, but when we come back, we're gonna have game